Hello everyone, welcome to my SAS R tutorial. I'm going to be showing you how to perform some tasks here in R as well as in SAS. The idea is that for those who are coming from R to SAS or from SAS to R, transition will be a little easier for such ones. Okay, so I'm assuming that you already are familiar with both platforms, both R and SAS, so I won't be going into all those details, explaining what a lot of all those things mean. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be performing some tasks here in SAS, and I'm going to be repeating the same thing here in R. Okay, so let's get started. To start with, I have created a folder here that has two data sets, the same data set for different file types. You can use CSV file, comma separated value, and then you have an Excel file. And then I've gone ahead to create a path or a working directory. What I'm telling SAS is this: SAS, please recognize that this is where my data is, so I don't need to always write this long path anytime I'm telling you where my data is. Okay, so I only need to give you this reference. It's like a code that tells you, okay, if you are A is green, B is yellow. So anytime I say yellow, B, I'm talking, I'm referring to yellow. Okay, so that B is just a placeholder for the color yellow. So that's what I meant here. So I'm using these creating a macro, so I need to use the %let here to define my macro here, which is a working directory, and I want it to be equal to this entire length. So the idea is to make my code or my code a little less clumsy. Okay, makes it a little more readable and not too bulky or lengthy. So I'm going to be importing the CSV file. To do that, I'm just going to be typing the procedure. Okay, proc import. Okay, now proc import. Procedure means, the proc there is procedure, and I'm going to be using the procedure import to bring in a data set from a data file, okay, which is outside, which is now I'm going to be telling SAS where it is. Remember, I have this as my placeholder for this entire thing here, this entire path. So I'm just going to specify it here. I want to make reference to it with a %, and I want to say working directory. Okay, and I want to tell SAS that the macro ends here with this full stop, and then I want to give the name of the dataset of cars.csv. Okay, that's done for that. And then the next step is for me to tell SAS what name to give it once I have imported it into SAS, and by using the option here, out. So I want to call it cars. Okay, and I want to tell SAS what type of data it is by using the statement dbms. Okay, it's already given me, and it is a dbms CSV. Okay, and I want to replace this. Okay, just tell SAS to replace it, and then I want to run. Okay, so what happens here is this. Let me just explain very quickly. So I'm telling SAS to use this procedure import to get a data set from an external source, which is this folder here, this directory here, and this is the data itself. And once it gets into SAS, I want to name it as cars, okay, which is this out. And the type of data I'm bringing is CSV, and I want to replace it it is already in SAS memory. There's a data set called cars in SAS memory. I wanted to replace it with this new one that I'm bringing. Okay, so the next thing to do here, which may not be necessary in this case, or pretty much necessary just for you to see the output, is to write another procedure, and you say proc print. I don't need to tell it what data to print, but I just need to say proc print and run. So what happens here is that we understand that I'm telling it to print the last data set that I just created. Okay, so that would be this data set cars here. So let's just, I can highlight this and press this running man, or I can just press the running man to run everything. So now let's see what happens. Let's see what we got here. Okay, now we have this, our data set has been processed, and here is the output. Here is the result. Remember, I gave it the command to print it out for me, and that is what I got here. Let's go to the log and see whether everything runs fine. The log shows me that the work cars, I'm going to be talking about these in future videos, what this work and things like this means. And then it's telling me that there are 428 observations in my data set, and there are there are 428 observations, and then there are 15 variables. So we have 428 rows and 15 columns in my data set. So that is pretty much what I wanted to happen. I want you to bring this one in. Just so with these, I can go ahead to use that data set cars for whatever I need to use it for. Okay, so I can just use it to do any other thing. So for instance, okay, now I have the result. I can tell SAS to give me a data set. I can create a data set of origin from here. Okay, where, okay, for instance, I'm interested in looking at cars from Asia. I can tell SAS to just give me any of these cars from Asia using that data set. Okay, using the data set that I just created here, which is cars. Okay, let's go over to R and do pretty much the same thing. So here we have created our directory. So I'm just going to copy it over and just paste it here. Here. Okay, here in R the convention is different, so you don't need all these asterisk and semicolon. So in R, into R. So now in this case, I just need to use this pound sign as a comment. So that will not be executed once the program runs. Okay, so now I'm ready to go. So what I did, there are a lot of ways to do this here, so I'm just going to be showing you 2 easy ways to really import your data set here. One of the ways is just to come over here. Remember, you see that your data is showing here. Just click on it. Okay, you either view or you import. Okay, click on the data, you view or you import. Okay, but in this case we want to import. Just say import, and you see this come up. Okay, so you see this come up. You can see that these are the columns of the data, and there are some of those initial specifications that you can uncheck depending on what kind of data set. So in this case, I don't want to view it. Remember what we did here? We print. So this one is going to be printed using the function view. Okay, so I just leave it like that. One of the things I can do is just to copy this over to my code or just run it like that. So if I say import, but I'm just going to copy it, hold it. Okay, I'm still going to go ahead and import, since I don't need to do anything here. So remember, the delimiter is a comma separated delimiter. So depending on the kind of data set you want to import, you can choose that. So you say import. Now if you go to this console here, you see that it's loaded a library. Okay, remember what we did here? Procedure import. So this is going to use a function that is specifically designed to import or to work with the CSV files. So that is what happens here. So you see the function here in R. So this is used, and then you can see the printout here. Okay, we have the make, the model, and things like that, and then we are good to go. Okay, so now the data, the code is still pretty much the same thing. I just, it's one of the easiest ways to go about it. I can as well just type it out for you, but I told you I was going to show you one of those easiest ways and one of those tricks to get it done. Okay, this is how to import a CSV file. Okay, remember, I just click on it. I don't need to specify anything. It automatically recognizes what I'm going to import, and then generate the code for me to do that. Okay, you see some of those function. Yeah, so this showing me how it imported the data set. So here, the second thing is to come here to import, or you can as well come here to your file. Okay, you can come to file and say import data. Okay, but I'm going to use it from here. So you see import, and then you can choose any of the data set that you want to import. But in this case, remember we use read R to bring in the CSV. You just say read R. It's going to give you the same box that we had before. So you remember, you see now there is no data set here yet in this case. Okay, you see our data set here is not here yet, so I need to browse. I need to click on browse to look for the data set and import it. Okay, as soon as I get the data set, this will be automatically updated with the name of the data set. Okay, so in this case, I'm not going, since I pretty much run the same thing, I'm not going to be running it again. I'm just showing you how to make that happen. So now we are able to import a data set which is from the CSV file into R, into SAS, as well as into R. You see, so if you want to view this, you can just click on this line, or just click on the line, or you highlight it any way you want it. Click on this line and click on run. Okay, one thing that is similar to both is that there is always a run. Okay, see, run also. There is a running man, and as well here we see the run as well. So see, it's interesting. So it starts with a function, the library, okay, and that is taken care of by this prop import. Okay, and then I need to tell it okay, it uses this function, and then I generate a vector with data, and then I need to tell it where it is. So now, remember I made the directory here where I had to reference this macro that I created here. Here I don't have to do the same because the data set is already in my working directory. I can just call out the data directly. Okay, so unlike in this case where I have to make reference the directory before I do that, before I imported the data set. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I want you to comment on our videos. I want you to like it. I want you to subscribe to our channel, as we will be bringing you more of these wonderful tutorials. Thank you very much.